when you tell a kid, hey, you're the number 12, 11-year-old in New Jersey, you feel a sense of, oh, hey, look at me.
Arteaga drives one to center. Miller hustling over. Diving catch by Ian Miller. A great catch.
3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the 9 Hole Podcast. This is your host, Ian Miller. I am joined today by Nick Dini, ex-Major League catcher with the Kansas City Royals, and we've been creating a little bit of a splash in the youth baseball space thanks to Nick Dini, his viewpoints, his experiences, and his expertise. And today is going to be no different. Nick, how you doing, brother?
Doing good, Mill. Thanks for having me on again, bro. Let's dive into it.
I love
topics today.
Yes, absolutely. So the biggest news today in the youth baseball space just so happens to come from a company or two that is affiliated and has something to do with something that's been going on in Major League Baseball. So Fanatics owns and, has the rights to Major League Baseball jerseys. And so there was some stuff going on in spring training about the quality of the jerseys, what was going on. It's see-through, the names on the backs, and it's all dumpy. And so there was a whole bunch of stuff going on there. But behind the scenes, they had worked out a deal with Perfect Game. They took over, the Topps, the trading card rights. So Fanatics owns Topps now, and they own the trading cards. But there's something going on in the youth space with Perfect Game. So we know that Perfect Game pretty much is a monopoly in the tournament space, the showcase space. And they pretty much have a stranglehold, as we'll talk about here, on the youth space. And so they have some stuff going on where they own the rights, the name, image, and likeness rights of these amateur players in perpetuity. And so you had brought it to my attention, brother. I didn't even know this until you sent it my way. And the stuff that I've been reading has been blowing my mind, dude. What do you got on this, man? And can you kind of just like lay the groundwork for this whole story?
So I, just like you, somebody had sent this to me. I hadn't seen this article, and then somebody had sent it my way on The Athletic. So I started diving into it and I started reading. And my first initial reaction was, this is crooked. I was like, I have no idea. Like, I am interpreting what I'm reading as just a total case of taking advantage of the uneducated. And I say uneducated very nicely, right? Because like, if this would have happened 15 years ago when I was playing, like my parents, coaches would be uneducated on the subject, because unless you have somebody that knows what's going on and knows that the ramifications of this, they wouldn't be able to tell you what you're actually signing away. So after I read it, I actually reached out to two agents from two separate agencies, because I was like, yo, what is this? What does this mean? Because like when I'm reading it, this sounds like pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Right. And the response I got from both of these guys, and this seems industry wide, was that they don't really know either. And the fact that this agreement was put in place, I think about 3 weeks ago, and there has not been a statement from Fanatics nor Perfect Game. And I think that is like everyone's antennas should be up. So essentially what the article is talking about is PG and Fanatics have partnered in the space to essentially acquire the NIL rights to all of these players. Now, when I read it, I'm looking at it, right? And I don't know what to think, because on one hand, the way I see it, right? Because I put myself in those shoes, right? So if I'm Fanatics, like, where do I benefit? Okay. My benefit would be I go to the biggest showcase amateur level baseball that there is, Perfect Game, and I create a partnership. So say that partnership looks something like, hey, we'll give you $10 million over 10 years for us to have the NIL rights to all the Perfect Game participants. And I'm just throwing a number out there, right? Because there's no information on this. Now Perfect Game turns around and says, okay, I get $10 million. Sure, no problem. So now Perfect Game essentially acts as the middleman between the player and Fanatics.
Mm.
Okay. And a word that you use that cannot be thrown around loosely is perpetuity, because that's a word that came up in this article. That's forever. We will own your NIL, your name, image, and likeness for the rest of your life. So essentially, they can look at it and be like, dude. So, Mills, and this is where we have to educate the audience, is when guys get signed, right? Guys get drafted. Guys that are in, the top 5 rounds of a draft, they typically get card deals, and those card deals could be very, very lucrative. I've known card deals for guys that have been $250,000 coming out of the draft, right? So we're talking life-changing money to 20,000, right? So makes total sense for Fanatics to want to be like, okay, if I can get these guys before they get to this point. So the article basically says, like, what you do is you sign stickers, right? So, and because now I could just throw those stickers. I have a warehouse full of your signature that I could just put on all these baseball memorabilias, and I can make money off of it for as long as you play. And I'm wondering, and so I'm jumping all over the place because I really don't know where to go with this, because if I'm looking at it from their perspective, it's like, okay, so Perfect Game ranges from like just a standard tournament with a bunch of kids that just want to play baseball, and 95% of those kids are not going to ever be in a position where they're making money off of their name, image, and likeness, right? So now you're talking about potential draft picks. Those guys are going to be advised by agents, because you get to a certain point where it's like, you're very good. You have, the potential to have a future in this game. So I'm going to advise you through this process. Now they have somebody in their corner that can let them know what they're actually signing. What I believe, and if this is the case, this is extremely, extremely crooked, that if you have 12-year-olds just enter a tournament, right? Because for them, why not do this? Have a 12-year-old sign this. So, and here's another thing. My thought is that if they're signing over this name, image, and likeness, right? Are they having somebody with a separate piece of paper? Hey, this is your waiver form. Like, this is the liability form. Like, if your son gets hurt, we're not liable. You sign that form. And then here's a form for your name, image, and likeness, that if you sign this, like, you're telling them what they're actually signing. Where from what I kind of understand and what people are thinking is that they're just hiding this in the fine print.
Yeah, dude.
Which is really sketchy. You know what I mean? It's like, most of the time it's like, hey, I get my kid to the ballpark. You want to get in there and friggin' get to the field. So, all right, yeah. Where do I sign? Boom, boom. I sign. Next thing you know, you just signed over your NIL rights at 12 years old. So imagine, I'm just going to throw a name out there. Imagine Perfect Game and Fanatics getting Bryce Harper at 12 years old. Home run, right? Like, I own this guy's NIL rights in perpetuity. Like, so if you're taking a 12-year-old that's just entering a tournament, because really at 12 years old, you have no idea where this kid's going to be in 5-6 years, right? So why not just have that 12-year-old, hey, on this liability form in the fine print, I'm just going to hide these NIL rights, make you sign it. Now when you're 16, 17 and you've made a name for yourself and you put yourself in a position to be a high round draft pick, and now you have somebody advising you, oh, hey, it's too late. You've already signed this.
Your own.
Right? So now, and everything I read, like, I mean, you see, dude, like Scott Boras is advising his guys that he has, like, don't participate in Perfect Game events. Like, there's real, cause for concern in the agency world about what they are doing to kids. And they've created this sense of, and you talked about it, like fear of missing out, right? So not only do parents pay big money to enter their kids into these tournaments, those same parents now have to park every day that they go to the ballpark. You have to pay for parking at these places. And I can potentially be robbing my son of a 6-figure payday down the line because I'm signing away these rights that I had no idea what I was signing. So there's a lot really to unpack, and there's a lot of unknowns. You know what I mean? So if they come out and say, no, this is what we're going to do. Like, you're going to sign your liability form. Then we're going to let you know what this other paper is, right? Then, okay, that's fine. Now, another thing too, is it's like, okay, if these NIL things, if it's like, hey, you sign this form, we'll make some perfect game cards for you. You can pay for these cards. You could get any amount you want. You can upcharge parents on cards and make some money that way if you're perfect game and Fanatics. Okay. But if you're looking to pry on people that don't know any better for your own personal gain down the line, like, that's where it's like, hold on. Like, what is going on here? And I feel bad because they've already created, like I said, this fear of missing out. So you feel like if I don't put my son into these perfect game events, I'm doing my son a disservice, and it's, potentially detrimental to his baseball career, which is insane. Okay. But now, in doing that, you're signing away potential big money down the line.
It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. You're leaving so much on the table just because there's some negligent business going on, and they're taking advantage of people, like you said, that are uneducated. They haven't experienced this shit yet. So it's like you're taking advantage of people that haven't experienced it yet. Their eyes are wide, like everything's happening quick, and you're taking the rights over, man. So it's yeah, when All Americans drafted in the first round, Fanatics already owns all of their rights and can produce cards and merchandise. It takes away the need for card deals, like you said, that range from, a couple $1,000 all the way to potentially $250,000, man. So like right here, just straight off of the article that we were talking about, it says that means Perfect Game and Fanatics would not just be able to sell hundreds of autographed cards and memorabilia while a player is an amateur. The company is also operating under the belief that they can continue to sell and profit off of memorabilia, merchandise, and cards for players who later play in college and the big leagues. Even when they retire, Perfect Game owns the rights they signed over involving any Perfect Game event or signed memorabilia. They say Perfect Game has a stranglehold on youth baseball. Yeah, they prey on the fear. So according to Perfect Game's website, dude, more than 2,000 of their alumni have appeared in the big leagues, and more than 14,000 players have been drafted. It's crazy. So they're in perpetuity. There is no end date. It is forever, dude. So these guys, we've seen in the past, bro. What's that, like Big League Advance, where they will offer, especially Latin players who are uneducated and don't really necessarily know. I'm not saying they don't know the process.
No
they're more vulnerable.
But
yeah, they're more vulnerable, right?
Exactly.
Different language, different country, different
Yeah.
business, and they're offering this Big League Advance company. They are offering $100,000, $250,000 up front if they're cash strapped for a percentage of their future earnings, 50% of everything they make in the game, whether it is on the field, coaching, in the booth, in the press box, dude. That is all coming back to them, dude. So we're seeing this like monopoly and this stranglehold in certain aspects of it. And dude, now it's starting in the amateur ranks.
Dude, and my thing with that is, it's like, okay, Big League Advance is one thing. These kids, they're getting paid. These kids aren't getting paid.
I know, dude.
There's no money to it. They're not getting anything right now. So it's like, Big League Advance, if I could move my family out of a bad situation, or if I could have enough money to give myself proper training and get myself, you know what I mean? Like, there is some benefit to doing that. I don't see what the benefit is to doing this from the player's perspective. And the reason why it pisses me off, right, is because if I'm that 12-year-old kid, right, and you're in the same boat, right? You're that 12-year-old kid. You're not a top prospect. You're not a big time name that's going to get drafted out of high school in the top rounds where you have to make a decision. Do I want, I want 2 million, but I'm offered $1.5 million. It's like, no, I'm going to go to college and I'm going to work my ass off and I'm going to try to do everything I can to get to the next level. If I do that as a 12-year-old that wasn't in a position to get drafted that high, I've said this on this podcast before, bro, I made $1,000 out of the draft. Okay. I didn't have a card deal as a drafted player. I made some money on cards and other things when I got to the big leagues. So now you take a kid that has grinded his ass off, right? signed for that $1,000, got an opportunity, and just continued to push and push and push, right? He gets to the big leagues and it's his time to cash in on whatever opportunity is, because at that point, dude, that 5,000, that 10,000 that you can get off a rookie card deal, that's big money to somebody that hasn't made any money playing the game, right? And you put all your chips into this basket. Like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get to the next level. And then when it's time for you to cash in, somebody else is doing it because they took advantage of you at the youth level. Like, that's crazy, bro. And that's why it sticks with me, because guys like me and you aren't getting advised when we're 15, 16, 17 years old, right? We're just playing the game on a hope and a dream. And that's what drives us, right? Where you don't have these smart people in the industry kind of telling you the ropes and showing you the way and giving you all this insight as to like how you should be going about certain things or what you could be doing to further your career. You're just kind of doing it and winging it and going. And then, like I said, when it's time for you to benefit, you don't get to benefit because you were given the privilege to play perfect game baseball. Dude, what's stopping me and you from starting a Ian and Nick baseball tournament? Hey, it's free of charge. You know what we'll do? We'll reach out to everybody we know in the industry, in the professional ranks, scouts, college coaches, and we're going to say, hey, we're going to put together a weekend of the top guys all over the country. You don't have to pay anything. We don't want you to sign any NIL deals. We just want to give you a platform to come play the game, let all these people see you so that you have a better chance to further your playing career. What's stopping anybody from doing that? Because I don't have a baseball card? I can get into all this crap, man. You have 12-year-old baseball cards with exit velos and putting all this bullshit that doesn't matter and selling that to kids like that's what matters. Like, and dude, you there's no wonder, right? So this all lends itself into a problem that you see in the game, is that kids are all about themselves, right? Like, you see kids hitting home run. Dude, I saw a video the other day John Boy posted. Must have been, it's a youth game, amateur game, whatever level it's at. The kid hits a home run, bat flips to Narnia. There's a 65-year-old umpire behind the plate, comes down, hits the umpire in the head, and he's wobbly, falls down. I don't know what happened to him, but that's the kind of shit that we're doing. And I'll tell you why, right? Every single home run I've ever hit in my career, I hit the ball. Some were further than others. I put my head down. I rounded the bases. I touched home plate. I came in, got a sip of water, put my shin guards on, and got ready for the next inning. Every single home run. You will not find one home run of me. And I'm not saying I'm the poster child for how a baseball player should be. That's not what I'm sitting here saying. But what I am saying is, when you tell a kid, hey, you're the number 12, 11-year-old in New Jersey, you feel a sense of, oh, hey, look at me, right? So now I hit that home run. I can pip it. I can do what I want. I'm the number 12. I'm the number 12 player in New Jersey, right? What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? And here's another thing, bro. Baseball does not start until you get to the big field. It does not start until you get to the big field. Why? Because, dude, every single day that passes, you have a 10-year-old kid, okay? Two 10-year-old kids born on the same day, okay? Their age every single day will get, it's linear, right? Okay, every single day that passes, I am a day older and closer to 11. Their physicality, where they are developmentally, that's not linear. So now it's like you have that one kid who's a little bit behind and that one kid who, he's just developing at a more rapid rate than the other player. That kid's going to win on the little field.
Yeah.
Size, strength, like that stuff all plays when you're playing on the 200-foot fence from 46 feet away, 60 feet. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That plays. Then you get to the big field and you see those same dudes, like, guys catch up to them and you're like, yo, what the hell happened to this kid? Well, he just got bigger, faster, and then just stayed the course.
Dude, I've seen that too, right? You get into right around the age group where you get into the big field. There is the learning gap. The kids catch up, and the kids that were behind on the smaller field, they make up that ground that was lost because those kids maybe matured a little quicker and a little sooner than those guys. And from what I've seen and what I've learned, those guys that I don't want to say that they hit their ceiling quick or maxed out quick, but those dudes that were dominant when they were young, I don't know if it was a thing where they just kind of rest on that athletic ability and use it to maybe be a little lazy moving forward, but at least in my experience, I was able to bridge that gap and then surpass when I got on that big
Yeah.
field, because it's like, hey, I needed to put in that extra work in order just to catch up, and now I'm here, and you surpass them.
Yeah. Well, that's my thing. It's like you get this sense of security because of
Mhm.
the success that you've had on that field, right? And then you take the same kid who's been, grinding his ass off, like really honing in on technique and playing the game and doing the things that actually matter and translate. You see that kid start to catch up because it didn't come as easy to him. And he continued to develop where that, the first guy who did develop a little bit faster might rest on his laurels a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where I'm good. I'm the best player around here. Why? Because you're bigger than everybody, dude. You're bigger than
100%.
everybody. You're stronger than everybody. You better continue to work your ass off, because if you don't, you are in the dust. I've seen that so many times, dude. And I see it today with kids that I have.
Yeah, dude, it's
See it today.
wild. It's wild. Brick wall baseball. I love that you're here, man. Appreciate you being here. He says it's crazy watching how kids handle success now. So that was right around when you were talking about the bat flips and shit, hitting the umpire on the head. It's wild. We've talked about it, dude, with the swag and how showy the game is nowadays, dude. I understand it. I understand. I get it. Like, my opinion is it's a moot point. That's not how I came up. I know that if I pimped a home run with a fucking neon yellow arm sleeve and some bright pink cleats, right, in a gray uniform, that I was going to get plunked pretty hard next AB. So it's a different game nowadays, and that's how it is in the youth sports space. I get it, but it is wild and crazy to watch how kids handle success now, especially failure. You see how kids handle failure, how they're handling adversity, how they're moving away from it, and they're not even fucking attacking it, dude. It's wild, bro. It's wild. Like, what do you got on that?
So this goes to a point, and this is why I appreciate what you do, bro. And this is why I love getting on with you, because what people need to realize is Major League Baseball markets the 1%. Okay, the top guys, just like it should, right? You want to market the best players in the world. I get that totally. Like, I want to go. I want to tune in and watch Juan Soto take an at bat every night. It's a fucking show every time that guy gets up to bat. You know what I mean? So you should be marketing that. But what people fail to realize is that those are 1%ers. The league is made up of another 99% of players that are not in that 1%, bro. And most of these kids that play, and this is just the sheer facts, the reality of the situation is most of those kids are going to fall in that 99%. Yet we are watching what the 1% guys do, who make all this money, who are paid to drive the game forward and increase viewership and just continue to build the game of baseball. We're watching them and what they do and think that it's okay. Why do we think it's okay? Because I'm the perfect game number 5 player in Pennsylvania. That matters, doesn't it? Perfect Game told me so. So I'm allowed to do this. I'm allowed to throw my bat. I'm allowed to act like an idiot. And
you get rewarded that way, man. You see other people. Yeah, you see other people.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. It's just so here's the thing. It's you look at the game where it is now in comparisons to where it was. And I'm not sitting here like there's not good things in the game, dude. There is supremely talented players in baseball right now. Like, it's crazy the talent level that you're seeing. Like, it's at the major league level, and it just trickles on down. Like, you're seeing players that are better than ever at all levels of the game. So I'm not discrediting that, but first, something along the way has gotten in the way of like playing the game the way it's supposed to be played. You know what I mean? And just like having a respect for the game and a respect for the people that are a part of that game. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
And like I said, dude, listen, I'm not a participation trophy guy. Like, there are winners, there are losers, but like, there is a respect level to it, right? Like, you hit a home run, you got that guy on the mound, go touch the pillows and get in the dugout. You know what I mean? Like, why are you giving an evaluator something to question about you, right? Like, if I just hit a 450-foot bomb, why am I as a player, and I don't know if you realize this, but why am I as a player giving that guy something to question about my character? Like, is this all about him? Like, hey, look at me. Where, dude, I'm saying this as if I'm recruiting a kid and I'm watching a kid play the game, like, I want 25 dudes that are all about winning.
Yes.
And I'm not saying if you bat flip, you're not about winning, but like, doesn't that reek of a little bit of selfishness, in your opinion? Like,
Yeah,
hey, I just hit a home run, that this guy is sitting there writing something down. He looks up and you're still standing at home plate, chest pumping to your freaking first base dugout or whatever you're doing in the third inning. Like, I don't know. That to me, I'm a little bit more aware. It's like, I'm going to watch this guy a little more closely, which if he just did what he should have done, I have this perception of this guy like, holy shit, what a talent.
100%, brother. The respect thing from all levels, from the top down, dude, everything you're saying makes a ton of sense. Brick Wall, again, I appreciate you being here. Fires me up every time you're here and you're leaving comments in the chat, brother. Thank you. He said, because having success on the field isn't enough, so it doesn't look good on the gram, dude. Could not agree anymore, dude. Could not agree anymore. It's fantastic. But we're seeing it now.
That's
started
gold. That's gold, by the way.
100%, bro. And we started off with the story about perfect games and Fanatics fucking taking advantage of underage players with their parents, right? Signing away the rights in the fine print, not reading it. And I mean, how are you going to expect, respect on all aspects, on all ends of the game, when the organizations that are supposed to be in place to help our kids get their name out and get seen aren't even acting in that respectful capacity, and they're not reciprocating that type of respect. They're just fucking using the name, image, and likeness for their benefit and for business, dude. So how I mean, it's crazy to see. We're questioning the respect all over the place. The kids, the youth baseball players, some of these guys aren't respecting the game. The parents, the coaches. We got fucking youth little league players throwing 178 pitches on back-to-back days for fucking tournament rings that we were talking about. There's no respect there. The parents that are in the stands, they're taking their kids to these hitting lessons. It's an hour babysitting session. They drop the fucking kids off. They say, smell you in an hour, come back, or they're on their like, they don't care. There's no respect anywhere, and we can't expect it. Yeah.
Another area, dude, there's no respect. Like, there's no respect for umpires. I was watching a game recently, like it was a 10U baseball game. This guy shows up. He's one fast move away from like puking all over home plate, like reeks of alcohol, has no idea what's going on. And I'm sitting there and I'm wondering, but it makes total sense. I'm like, dude, who the hell wants to umpire? Why do I want to listen to parents at a 10U game? Like, hey, I got news for you. They are going to miss calls. Watch a Major League Baseball game. They miss calls. Those, I mean, people may argue, but those are the best umpires in the world. They are going to miss calls, and they're going to miss calls at a pretty, like, very, very often. Okay. So the 10U umpire that's like giving up his time, that is trying to, make a couple bucks as a college kid, that comes to, the local park to umpire your game on a Saturday morning at 9 a.m. like he has nothing better to do. The least you could do is show him a little bit of respect, right? And here's a story for you. So this guy, dude, it was a joke. And it is what it is. Like, it was a joke. Like, he was missing counts by 3 pitches. Like calling it 1-1, the count was 3-1. It's like, so I go up to the guy, right? Like, in between innings, like the inning gets over. I go up to him like, hey, dude, like, I know this is a grind, bro, but like, these kids play once a week. Like, just try your best to lock it in a little bit. And he's like, yo, I got you, bro. Like, that's my bad. And I'm like, no, dude, I get it. Like, it's all good. Don't, like, no stress. But, these kids, like, they look forward to this. So if you could, just a little bit. He's like, all right. And he sharpened up the rest of the game. Like, he was fine. You know what I mean? But like when I think you read stories of like parents getting on the field and fighting umpires, meeting them in the parking lot and fucking throwing the ones with
Dude,
each other. It's like you
you've been
wonder why
there.
umpiring sucks. Nobody wants to do it.
Dude, 100%. So you've been there. You've been behind the plate. You've been in fucking full catcher's gear in 100 degrees with humidity. Dude, you have an understanding of what it's like. If you're an umpire, you're a youth umpire. You're there for 20 or 40 bucks for an hour and a half, 2
Yeah.
hours to get chirped at from the fucking stands from like dads that didn't play past middle school, don't really understand what's going on, right? They're wearing short shorts and some long socks and like they're trying to look like an authority figure, brother. I get it, but dude, the respect is just on all ends. It's kind of lacking, and dude,
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
what you're saying. Love
Yeah.
what you're saying.
It's all
Crazy.
areas of the game, bro. And it's like, where did we go wrong?
It's
Where did
crazy.
we go wrong? What can you point to? But that's a great point by Joey Williams. That's my guy out in Jersey, Brick Wall Baseball.
Joey.
Give him a follow.
Yeah,
That's a great point, dude. It's not enough to have success. Like I need to do something that gets clicks and gets likes.
100%, man.
That's
And
great.
it's crazy because just I mean we're this is a fucking action packed episode. I'm actually sweating a little bit. So we pretty much hit the stuff that we wanted to hit on, dude. So in my limited time, year and a half in the wealth management industry, when I wanted to get like cool credentials, I got some fucking designations and stuff up on the wall. It's like if I want to have the CRPC acronym at the end of my name, which I do, sorry about it, but I need to act in a fiduciary capacity. So it's like if I have wealth management clients or if I'm giving them financial advice, I legally have to advise them on the best advice possible for their situation. And I could be held liable in court if I fuck around. And I'll find out. You know what I mean? If I give them bad advice, they could take me to court and sue me. We got people acting in not a fiduciary capacity, but if you're perfect game and you have underage players at your tournament and you are supposed to be, you have the stranglehold, on the industry and you are the monopoly in the industry, you're supposed to be looking out for the players, man. You're supposed to be, why wouldn't you be acting in a fiduciary capacity where it's like, hey, I'm going to do everything I can for you guys if you give me your business and you come out on the perfect game stage, and man, I'll do everything I can for you. But they're not acting in that capacity. It's all about money, man. It's all about taking that money away. It's crazy.
Let me read this quote.
Yeah.
Another veteran agent who spoke on the condition of anonymity to avoid any blowback for players he advises. They are getting kids underage to sign contracts with no representation at all, and parents who don't understand the ramifications. It's unethical and borderline illegal. They know that they're still doing it. There should be a class action lawsuit against perfect game by the parents.
That's wild. It's wild.
That's an athletic verbatim.
This is real. Yeah. So this is real, man. It's going to be cool. Actually, it's not going to be fucking cool. It's going to be, I guess you could say, exciting to see how this plays out. So this came out on May 8th, bro. So this was 2 weeks ago to the day. So there's going to be a lot of stuff that unfolds because of this. I'm going to be having eyes on this to see where it goes, what happens from here. But we know, like I said, Fanatics was already catching heat in spring training because of the dumpy fucking uniforms, dude. So who knows? This might be another little blemish.
Fanatics owns Topps too, by the way. So those trading cards, like they bought, I think Topps had a deal since like 1952 that Fanatics recently bought out Topps, which is the number one trading card that these kids are getting these big time dollars to sign these cards. They own that.
They don't have to do deals with these guys now because they fucking own you. So they owned you from 12 up until you're a big leaguer. And now when it's time to become a big leaguer, past it now, perpetuity. And now when it's time to talk about, hey, I'm a dude now, it's time for me to reap what I sow. It's time for me to cash in a little bit on my name, image, and likeness. I just stuttered. That's crazy. Fanatics is saying, hey, dude, we own you already, bro. So we don't have to do a deal. It's absolutely wild, bro. It's absolutely wild. It's crazy to see.
Yeah, it is. I listen, and they may come out and be like, hey, this is not like what it's perceived. Like, this is not the case at all. And then there might be an explanation that explains it. And then, this is a moot point, but I think the fact that they've declined to comment, so now they've opened themselves up to all these questions that are being asked regarding the deal. They declined to comment, and they have not commented since. That just gives you an uneasy feeling that
Sketchy.
There's
something going on, man, beneath the surface. Stay tuned, man. Deans, we'll touch on it again next week, bro. You are obviously like a mainstay here with the 9 Hole podcast, brother. Every Wednesday, dude, until whenever you want to come back
perpetuity.
on. Yeah, in perpetuity, dude. Mainstay for perpetuity, dude. I am grateful for your time, brother. This is nuts. This was an action-packed episode. We're going to be we already have stuff written down for next week we'll be touching on. And so look for more fireworks next week. Fuck yeah.
Outstanding. That was fun.
Yeah.
That
Absolutely,
was fun.
brother.
And it's good, dude. I feel a sense of, it's nice to, if anything at all, if you could just inform parents of what is going on, we are doing a good thing, in my opinion. And you hear
100%.
people are speaking up and also talking about this. So just raising awareness. Don't feel the fear of missing out. If your son's a ball player, I got news for you. Someone will find him. And if he plays well, he will continue to play. It's that simple.
Amen. Deans, appreciate your time, brother. Appreciate you being here. Brick Wall, Mr. Williams, thank you for contributing, being here with us, man. We will catch you guys here next time. Deans, man, thank you again, bro.
Appreciate you, Mel. I'll talk to you.
Yes, sir. See you guys.